alaikum World Social Forum. I want to tell you all a phenomenal story. A story of a people who rose up against injustice so that you and I can live a dignified existence. This is the story of Rabaa. Rabaa is the name of a famous square in Egypt, and it also means the fourth in Arabic. For 3 years now, it has become a symbol of peace, of unity, of strength, of steadfast, and by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a symbol of victory. And Rabaa, brothers and sisters, is where our story begins. On the 3rd of July 2013, Egyptians woke up to the shocking news that a military coup had taken place in their beloved country. A coup overthrowing Egypt's first democratically elected civilian president. The same coup that shut down various television channels that completely prohibited any broadcast of the opposing opinion, and that shut down every and any source that could possibly show the real face of a military coup. A military coup throwing Egypt back decades away from its newfound democracy. And this is where the heroes of our story come in. Egyptians from all over the country risked their lives and decided that enough was enough. They gathered peacefully in Rabaa Square in all cities and squares in Egypt for over 48 days. Why? Because they believed in freedom. They believed in democracy. They believed in justice. Rabaa was a spectacular example of peace and unity for the whole world. I want you to imagine doctors, engineers and teachers, and people of all professions, sheikhs and students, women and men and children just like you and I, protesting every day under the blistering Egyptian sun. Their stomachs rumbling from a long day's fast because it was the month of Ramadan. Their feet aching, their throats parched from chanting and their voices hoarse. But above all and most importantly, they had hopeful and dignified smiles on their faces. Why? Because they were standing up for the truth. Because they believed in a better tomorrow. I want you to imagine the scenes of protesters praying all night and chanting all morning. And I want you to keep that image of Rabaa Square in your minds as I move you to another fateful date. The 14th of August 2013. Here our story takes a sharp and distressing turn. That day, Egypt witnessed the worst state-led massacre in its history and in the history of all modern civilization. We are talking about women, men, and children being killed in cold blood. We are talking about 2,600 people being killed for no charge and no crime other than standing up and daring to come out and call for freedom and democracy in their country. It was a day that marked the complete massacre and destruction of any form of freedom and democracy in the land of Egypt. It was a day where bodies, tents, makeshift hospitals, and even the local mosque were burnt and torched down to the ground. It was a day where bulldozers closed off exits of Rabaa and all cities and squares in Egypt. It was a day where the military forces and the police fired tear gas and live bullets into the innocent civilian crowd, not sparing anyone, young or old, woman or man. No one could escape this massacre. I would like us all to take a moment of silence for those who lost their lives during Rabaa Square. want you to imagine a student who always came first in their class, who always kept Egypt's future on their mind. This student is waking up for another long and tedious day of protest. This student says goodbye to his parents and kisses his siblings farewell, not knowing that it would be for the very last time. I want you to remember a man named Ahmed Asim. A man who came to convey and portray the truth through the lens of his camera. The very same camera that filmed his own death. And I want you to feel the despair that his family has felt while they replay and replay and replay his last video, wondering and asking themselves, why did this man deserve to be killed? I want you to feel the pain of a very, very old man who spent 48 days sleeping on Egypt's tarmac using the pavement as his pillow. He would wake up every morning and spend the whole hot Egyptian day protesting. And why? Because he did not want his children and grandchildren to go through 60 years of oppression, injustice, and humiliation the same way he had to go through them. I want you to imagine a mother who took out her 17-year-old daughter to a protest. That day she had to go home only with her daughter's body. That young teenage girl was not only shot once, she was not only shot twice, but 3 times. And why? Because she used her voice, her only strength, to say no. Since the military coup has taken over Egypt, Egypt has witnessed more than 50,000 political prisoners, more than 270 deaths in custody, more than 1,300 death sentences were passed, and 3,000 assassinations. These are not just numbers. We are not just numbers. Our story does not end here. Together we can change that ending. Our heroes did not stop asking for their rights while the military continues to violate human rights every day. Our heroes did not stop protesting peacefully and will not stop protesting peacefully until democracy and liberty are restored into the land of Egypt and until the revolution that inspired the world is reclaimed. As fellow humans, we are duty-bound to uphold the basic values of freedom, dignity, and social justice. As fellow humans, we are duty-bound to uphold these basic values, and I urge you all to contact and to write to your local MPs. Attend demonstrations and raise awareness in your schools and your universities. Speaking out for the truth and for justice is not a choice but an obligation and a responsibility upon each and every one of us. Because today, here, now, and all over the globe, we are all Rabaa. Rabaa, the symbol of perseverance, of resistance, and of hope. Can we all please raise our hands in a Rabaa sign for the cameras and for the world to know that we stand with truth, we stand with peace, we stand with justice, we stand with democracy, we stand with Rabaa. I end with a message of peace. Thank you very much. Et version française sur moi.